Ladies and gentlemen, what have been known as these days is happening. There is so many high concentration level of immigrant that is going on around the world. They were trying to move between countries in case to start for a new life. A great number of immigrants comes from a different culture, different ethnics, and everything. Today, as we are going to speak before we are getting any further, I would like to deliver you a motion that we need to crack this open. As a first generation immigrant, parents of color in a predominantly white country will choose to live and raise children in ethnic enclave. In this motion, I would like to explain to you what is happening. The nature of the first parent generation of immigrant, a family who have just moved to another living country and they don't get acknowledgement yet by the original society. So they live in a society where they are the secondary subsidiary level of ethnic society. And for the second one, predominantly white country, what does this mean? This means a country in which the citizens are having a white color of skin. They are more dominant and act as a king. They rule that country. Ethnic enclave is a geographic area at high concentration, characteristic, culture, identity, and economic activity that is an ethnic enclave. In this motion, ethnic condition or situation in which the people or original person still hold the nature, the culture of their ancestor. For those reasons, the discrimination still exists nowadays. It happens in a new life. Just what happened in America. Even in our own beloved country, Indonesia, it still happens. It is about race, gender, and disability. This discrimination must stop. And I have 3 arguments why did I able to speak like this. These 3 points of arguments. For the first, it is an immigrant sense of guilt. For the second one, there is a dependent relationship dynamic. For the third one, practical barriers that are existing. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to deliver you this argument which supports my claim. For the first one, these immigrants who are trying to start a new life in some place somewhere tends to feel a sense of insecure. It happens to most of them. It can happen anywhere, which like the cases of black society people who live in United States of America. You all know that. Those countries, that particular country were predominantly occupied by white society people. They tend to always feel inferior and hard to adapt because of the indigenous society who treats them differently. How they act, how they address their friends, how they address their societies. So they have always felt racial discrimination. And for this dependency relationship dynamic, dependence, this means those black society people cannot adapt to their own surroundings because they tend to feel inferior. This is correlating with the first one. They cannot ask those white society people. They can only ask their own indigenous society. And then, for the third and the last one, there is a fact that's stating a practical barriers. Practical barriers of immigrant barriers. In this one, living in a new society have several or serious barriers. These barriers could make them feeling uncomfortable. And there is a reason behind that. First one, having language barrier. This is something that we cannot do anywhere, anytime, and you need to learn for a long time. Language for communication can prevent them to convey idea, and when this happens, miscommunication can take place. For the second, employment. It can be a problem for an immigrant or black people to get job in a dominant white people because their racial face. The chance to get job is served to people who are dominant. And for the third one, there is housing space. A big priority for people moving to a new area in which they tend to choose different area. These cases is what we are facing right now. Discrimination is a thing that we should push away. And for this reason, I have 3 key points of system. There is a mechanism that you can do to address and identify those racial discrimination. Racial dis can result from individual behavior as well as because of the unintended and often unconscious consequences of discriminatory system. This is known as systemic discrimination. And there is 3 key points. For the first one, how to identify and address them. Numerical data means a big role in this thing. Statistic data may show racialized people are not being equally treated. For the second, policies. These policies can affect everything. Formal and informal policies decision making can result in barriers for an exclusion of racialized person. Third, organizational culture. Organization can have their own internal culture, if not inclusive, can marginalize or alienate racialized person. And for this, I am very proud to take my stance to erase this discrimination. For the second, there will be an explanation from my second speaker. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
This house, as a first-generation immigrant parent of color in predominantly white country, would to choose life and raise children in ethnic enclave. As a first-generation immigrant parent of color in a predominantly white country, it is reasonable to choose living and raising children in raising the immigrant children in an ethnic enclave. Ladies and gentlemen, I would to giving my argument in the three part. In the first, the massive discriminative still exists in global life. The second, benefit of this enclave, of ethnic enclave. And the third, the second is creating formal police or the role to protect new immigrants. Ladies and gentlemen, we check in the first argument. The massive discriminative still exists in the global life. In Minneapolis, in U.S. United States, 60% white skin and 90% black skin, and there still happen ignorance. So many racism conflict. They like the case of George Floyd and the newest. He is a black skin and poor people. That he died because of unreasonable case. He is accused to spread counterfeit, but unfortunately he doesn't have chance to defend himself to prove that he is not guilty. That is evidence that with making ethnic inequality, he don't have a chance to defend himself. Living as minority is in a majority. White people can cause discrimination. We let's to the second argument, ladies and gentlemen. Benefit of ethnic enclave. The first page, people get changed for this to life longer. The second, they are in good relationship with the skin color. And the third, they can continue the nature of their ancestor. The fourth, it is affordable housing space community surface are caused by the people. For the five, offers new immigration change to develop contacts and establish themselves much more quickly and making a go at its loan. Later, the first benefit of ethnic enclave. The first patient, people get more chance to live longer. So they also like the human in generally. They also have life. They need food. They need place to stay in the world. They also because of that we believe that they need our help to getting some change in this case, in this problem. So the just like new kids, they don't know what to do now. Environment having established people around you is that they are in much better shape to greet you. To find new job, to socializing with others, they will encourage each of other for wider community involvement and also participate in community outreach program. Because of that, can make or to prevent the racism with color. The second, they are in good relation with the same skin color. We believe that giving an ethnic enclave is a good way, but to secure its life more safety and continue the essence hope. They have value to continue their children. Their children needs education to better life and to get involved. They like other human having the right to live. Ladies and gentlemen, after they having job and having home to stay, they can pay to the country, can pay the tax to the country, and also it is very useful for country income. So human right. So it will be a good way to solve the problem. In thirdly, they can continue the nature of the poverty. It is affordable housing, safe community service are close with people. They can get free or affordable housing. It is good. It's needed by much people. And in other case, we have been reached in a modern era. It means we should to care about the human right, about what they needed for, because of not people having like us in the five offers the new immigrants a chance to develop contact and establish themselves much more quickly. They're making a good at it alone. Well, have to build faith, to build fellow, because of they will be ready to acknowledge about their skin, and they will get spirit to take the breath about their skin in the world. In the third, my argument, ladies and gentlemen. The second is creating funeral police or road to protect new immigrant. The regulation can make them feel secure living in a majority with white people. The black people can establish an organization in which they can set their own regulation with legal document. They people laws just what happened in Papua, the organization Black Lives Matter in Indonesia. They self-regulation to demand justice among secure who is black, and this movement is in line or put by Indonesian laws. Everybody have the same change in government. In the laws 2080 people have same change, have to protect in the country. They have same opportunity to getting justice. In this it is more it is more important for us. And we believe that the third is setting organization culture. I can see in this organization they have their own informal culture. If not enforced, can and marginalize against person. That's all for me. We believe that government is have a good way. Thank you.